So today we're looking at this Rotel RA-820AX stereo integrated amp. The issue that it has is that although it turns on and does amplify music, one channel is severely distorted, the other channel seems very weak. I have worked through some basics. I've cleaned up the input selector switch, which meant removing 30 or desoldering 38 solder connections on the selector switch, pulling it out of the board completely, pulling the whole entire switch apart and cleaning up all of the metal contacts inside. There was a lot of black residue in there. That is now working quite well. And looking at the schematic diagram here, the selector switch is this guy. Here are all of the inputs: phono stage, CD, tuner, auxiliary, tape in, tape out. You can see the phono stage does come through its own phono stage amplification section here through its own op amp. However, after that, the line level inputs come through this stage here, which is another op amp. So now, after cleaning out that switch, I've got a solid test signal right here, everything's looking fine and dandy. But on the output of that op amp, we've got we can see the problem is here at this early stage. So testing the audio here and here, it's looking pretty bad. It's almost looking like a faulty op amp. But I've gone ahead and checked the voltages, the plus and minus rails at the IC 501 op amp, which is, I believe, 4 and 8. If we come and follow those wires down, or those tracks down to the power supply here, this is those two wires coming down here, we can see that we should actually have 19.4 volts, and we should have minus 19.4 on the other one. Minus 19.4 I do have, but I don't have plus 19.4. The reason for that seems to be we're also missing 20 volts on the base of transistor Q901. And so why was that? When I've tested the components around Q901, I do have the 37 volt rail here, but it is being pulled low to ground through this diode, which appears to have shorted. This diode is a Zener diode, and it's a UZ20B, which is a 20 volt Zener diode, which seems to be setting the base right on 20 volts so that the op amps can get the 19.4 volts after the diode junction drop of Q901. So because of that diode failure, this voltage rail will be pulled low, and that first op amp, actually even the phono stage op amp, will not be getting the correct plus 19.4 volt rail, because you can see 4 and 8 here are just in parallel with 4 and 8 here on the phono stage as well. So I've gone ahead and ordered in a 20 volt Zener diode. But here is our amplifier. There is the diode here. Diode 901. You can see I have pulled one leg out of the circuit board. so that I can test it and I am sure that there is a short on that diode. So we'll go ahead and tack the new diode in and see if it solves all of the issues. Alright, we're all back together and powered up. Let's see what it does.